A bipartisan coalition of senators is authoring special education reforms that they hope will put the focus back on students. One of those reforms involves the amount of paperwork that special education teachers are required to do. Two of the lawmakers working on this measure are Senator Paul Anderson from Plymouth and Senator John Hoffman, who represents Champlin and Brooklyn Park. They've been surprised about what they've heard so far.
50% of his time is spent, and he sets the paperwork aside because he has to deal with crisis all the time. 50%. That's what we heard. That's what Senator Anderson and I heard in that committee, and that's why we're committed to saying, let's get it done.
This is an area that we can step up and reduce bureaucracy and paperwork and get the teachers to spend the time with the students like they should.
So how much time do special education teachers spend on paperwork, and why is that necessary? We sat down with special education teachers in the Robbinsdale School District to find out.
Did you notice yesterday that I picked this book just for you?
Special education teachers like HAILEY Curry,
What do we know about this line?
feel like their job is a calling.
It's what I'm meant to do.
Curry says she has a heart for the underdog, and you can see that when students visit her classroom.
I love my kids. They always have some dynamic story that makes them sometimes a little more challenging to work with, but I love working through that to be able to experience the success with them, because that success feels so much sweeter.
Good. How did you know that Y was there?
But what might not be as sweet as time with students is the amount of paperwork required in special education.
It's always a little bit overwhelming, or it takes your breath away a little bit, oh, this is always more than I remember.
I can skate.
Curry stressed that the paperwork is very important. It involves an individual education plan that is legally required for each student. The plan involves teachers, staff, and parents.
The paperwork is critical because it's really the pathway that helps us to support that student along their needs, because our ultimate goal for all of our students is graduation.
MARTI VOIGHT oversees special education for Robbinsdale area schools.
Skate.
She's seen the amount of paperwork increase in her 20-plus years with the district.
Really what's changed is the evaluation process, the amount of information that's required for us to put into an evaluation. And that evaluation can be anywhere from 4 pages to 40 pages.
And that's just one part of the plan. VOIGHT believes there's a way to simplify what's required.
We need to think about the reduction of paperwork and the amounts of things that we're asking people to do, because I think we can still get the results.
Curry says all too often special education teachers face a tough choice.
Do I do this paperwork that has a legal timeline to it, or do I put in the time to have a really powerful, exciting lesson for my kids, engaging, what's going to get them motivated? But at the end of the day, it does take away from our time with students, and that's really hard.
Lawmakers say there's another benefit to changing up paperwork requirements. The proposals could help curtail rising costs that are eating into funding for other school programs, since special education is one of the fastest growing areas of school district budgets.